We did it. I didn't do it. We did it. 1,000 subscribers. You saw that. This is actually the first video I've done since getting 1,000 subscribers. The one about 1,000 subscribers was filmed last week. This is it. I mean, I'm proud, but I'm also grateful. I'm equally grateful because you're part of this. We got 1,000 subscribers. I didn't. We did. So it's so much fun, and it's funny because even in that title, like, you can see that there's a formula to everything. In the title I said there's 5 sneaky ways to get ahead. Well, even that is the thing, because if I just said, here's how I got 1,000 subscribers, I have to say sneaky because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I want to know more about it. Now, let's get to it. Let's get to the comment tree. Let's see what we're going to learn about today. Alex O'Neill, he commented on the video entitled, "Do we value and fear hair loss more than death?" Which is not a very popular video that I did, but it should be. I think it's one of my better ones I've done recently, but it's not appreciated. But Alex O'Neill appreciated it, and he said this, quote, "I think when hair loss starts, a lot of us see it as a death of a certain phase in our lives." He goes on to say, "Balding is a sort of change in how we view ourselves inwardly as well as outwardly, and the role we play in the world. And maybe this could make us feel like we don't know who we are anymore." End quote. I love that. I wish I would have came up with that, because that's right on. That's spot on. It absolutely is true, and I think that's an underlying theme of my videos. I've recently been talking about the character arc, that I've changed as I've been making these videos, and I think it's because I'm more accepting my identity as throughout the hair loss process. And unfortunately, some people have to experience that character arc much quicker than others because they lose their hair much quicker than others. But as I've always said, it's not so much how much hair you've lost and how quickly. Once you begin losing hair, once you're in that category, you're in that category and you're processing it. Your life is not quite the same, and a part of you does change and your identity does change. It's funny, what it actually makes me think of, this may sound strange, but I think back to my 10-year class reunion in the summer of 2009. And right before we had our class reunion, Michael Jackson died. And I mean, growing up in the 80s and 90s, by default, you were a Michael Jackson fan. Even if you didn't own any of his tapes or CDs, Michael Jackson greatly influenced who you were growing up. And he was always in the background, Michael Jackson. And so when he died, it's like, well, part of you feels like it dies, even though it was someone you didn't actually know. And again, even if you weren't specifically a fan, Michael Jackson dying, like, that's weird, and that's a universal experience, right? And the same thing a couple years ago when Robin Williams passed away. I mean, majorly influential on me, absolutely, Robin Williams. So then when these people disappear, even though we never met them and never knew them, part of us goes away, or part of us changes, part of us evolves, which is ultimately what happens as we're having a changing landscape here, because things won't ever be the same. And if we don't accept our new identity and get on board with what's going on, we're going to be left behind. We're going to be trapped. We're going to be victims, and we're going to be those people who are freaking out about losing their hair, which may be you. Maybe that's why you're here today watching this video. And I'm here to help. I'm here to help you with that transition in your life, that things won't be the same. You've got to make a decision. Are you just going to simply embrace it, just buzz it off or shave it? Are you going to get a hair transplant? Are you going to put chemicals on your head? What are you going to do? But even aside from that, you still have to come to terms with, hey, I'm not the same person I was before. While to the rest of the world it's not a big deal because people expect us men to lose our hair, it's a big deal for a woman if she loses her hair. Absolutely, and that's a traumatic thing. But for a man, it's not traumatic because we're men, and it's what happens. But that doesn't mean it doesn't affect us, and it doesn't mean that we have to address this change in identity that happens. If we don't address that, there's definitely going to be a problem. So I think I've just inspired myself to make a video about that coming up here a few videos later, because I think that's important. So hey, thanks again for being part of that first 1,000 of my subscribers. I literally couldn't do this without you. I didn't know what I was doing at first. And now and I'm always going to be making other videos too that aren't about hair. Again, I'm going to be doing a book review on a Jewish children's book later. And you're going to think, Nick, I don't want to watch this. Just hang in there. It's fine. Because I'm always trying to reach more audiences out there by not just about hair stuff, because this is my main thing. But I'm going to close with this thought. I want to remind you, I never set out to be a guy who talked about hair loss. I would never have thought myself to be qualified. But people keep showing up here, and that's my thing. So I embrace that identity as the internet receding hairline guy. So thank you for being a part of this. I'm so excited. We've reached the 1,000 mark. Remember, I was only 100 and something a year ago, and now I'm 1,000 and something. It wasn't by accident. I had a plan. I applied it. I will keep applying it. I will keep making too many videos. I will keep talking about hair loss because that's what is drawing people in. So if that's the thing I'm good at, I'll keep doing it. And again, thank you for being a part of it.